Hi, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. This is Ethan Van Sciver. We've got a follow-up to the live chat that we did last night. Last night, after some controversial comments made by artist John Malin on Twitter, I afforded him the privilege of coming on my channel and doing a surprise live chat where he would be able to clarify his comments or maybe walk them back a little bit or double down, which is what he ended up doing. We knew a Bleeding Cool article would be forthcoming. I'm surprised that it was written by Rich Johnson, but kind of grateful because I think Rich, out of most of the people at Bleeding Cool, most of the other writers, Rich is snarky, but he is the most fair out of all of them, which isn't saying much, as you'll see. But still, that was a good thing. So let's read this article. Last night, the current 90s style artist on the X-Men title Cable, John Malin, was discussing the effect that people dubbed as social justice warriors are having on the comic book industry, used as a term of abuse against people that cover a wide range of people. That needs to be edited, Richard. Don't, people. Such as those who promote and support the Me Too campaign, #MeToo campaign. To those that think that breasts on Blink are a bit too much these days, it has also been seized as a badge of pride by some. What does that mean, breasts on Blink? Is Blink like a child, or what's the deal? Anyway, it's often portrayed as left-wing or liberal, but left of center, centrist, or right of center travelers can also be tagged with this label. It's not what it is at all, but okay. When it was pointed out to Malin that the X-Men could themselves quite conceivably fit within the critique of quote-unquote social justice warriors, with the parallels and analogies of oppressed minorities, civil rights, and prejudice, Malin replied, and here's his tweet, this infamous tweet: X-Men are closer to Jews in SJW Hitler's Germany. Right there, John. Fighting for freedom because they see ideologues rising, silencing them, weaponizing hate, racism, and socialism against the people they claim are the root of social ills. SJWs are not Nazis, but Nazis are SJWs, and X-Men aren't SJWs. 209 likes on that, 64 retweets, 340 comments, and I'm sure that most of those are negative. That's X-Men are closer to Jews than in SJW's Hitler's Germany, fighting for freedom because they see ideologues rising. Okay. Just in case it gets deleted, but it doesn't seem to be. So Rich is writing it out just in case John deletes it. John isn't going to delete it. I mean, from the attitude that I got from him on the live chat last night, he is standing by that and doesn't really care. The tweet in question has received all manner of responses from across the industry, whether that was Star Trek Deep Space Nine actress and co-founder and of the Pop Culture Hero Coalition, Chase Masterson, chiming in, asking Marvel to look into Malin. Oh, I didn't know that. Chase Masterson was in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I never seen it. Marvel, you need to see this thread regarding your artist Malin. Also listen to this racism. It's not okay. And there's a SoundCloud here thing. I don't know what that contains. I'm not sure. Or even Matthew Rosenberg. Yeah, right. Matthew Rosenberg chimes in about all of this. He lives for things like this. He loves it. The writer of the current X-Men comic event, Phoenix Resurrection. He writes, "What the is Cable artist John Malin on about? Is this really someone in the X office wants? Is this really someone the X office wants on their books?" Oh, he just liked it. Did he say anything? No. He just liked it. Okay. But Malin seems pleased with the response he provoked. And here's his tweet. "Glad to expose the viper's nest that is the growing SJW infestation of this industry that is killing creative voices that politically differ, afraid to take chances for fear of the slightest offense, including attacking a 95-year-old Stan Lee, closing comic shops everywhere." John did. He came to the defense of Stan Lee big time on my live stream last night and said that it was elder abuse to accuse him of the things that the Me Too #MeToo people were accusing him of. And again, well, I've talked about that already, so we'll just leave that be. Some compared this to the Ardian Siaf affair, in which the Indonesian artist smuggled radical Islamist messages and symbology associated with hate speech and death threats against Christians and Jews into the launch issue of X-Men Gold last year, and believe this will mean Malin's head at Marvel. And so here we have tweets from people who want to see him fired. Al Kennedy, John Malin is so conservative that he cut off his own arts funding. God damn, that's funny. Excuse my language. That's very witty. All right. Cheers. Let them know what you. Let them know this isn't what you want out of your X-Men creators. Connor says the good news is we can look forward to a better artist taking over cable soon. Not necessarily. The CF affair, CF, however, involved messages snuck past editorial and published by Marvel rather than tweets on his personal Twitter account. That's correct. And many hold on to Beatrice Evelyn Hall's summary of the French philosopher Voltaire's thoughts. Quote, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it, which always seems to pop up when people start talking about Nazis. But John Malin has been voicing his opinions, and even if they are against the spirit or ideas of the comics he draws, it's not as if he is sneaking such messages into his work. After all, John Malin was in favor of Artie and CF losing his job for that. And here we have an old tweet from him, from this guy who says, which will make the larger publishers wary of hiring those who could drag them into situations like this. John Malin said at that time, April 11, 2017, I think as long as he was fired, it will be a good example and properly curtail events like this. If he quits, well, quitters never win. And John Malin would never do that, would he? Nice catch, Eric. Glad someone knows what it means. Okay. Reader Eric Vicente writes, Thunderbolts number 4, page 3, panel 3, the billboard. I see what you did there. Nice. With John Malin's response, nice catch. Glad someone knows what that means. Let's have a look, shall we? Thunderbolts number 4 from 2016. Yeah, so there's the Shell Beach sign there. Shell Beach, John Malin, what would that be a reference to? Turns out it's a reference to an alt-right reading of the movie Dark City. The Matrix is often used with the concept of choosing the red pill to evade the social justice warrior version of reality. Also, big government, mainstream media, liberal tinted glasses to get at the real truth. But as this critique states, quote, I've always found it ironic that alt-writers use terminology from the Matrix film, given that taking the red pill within the logic of the film leads to defending a multiracial S-hole suspiciously called Zion. This is really bizarre. Charming, but yes, not only diverse movie franchise, but created and directed by trans women creators, the Wachowskis. That's right. In Dark City, everyone is a lot more white. Rufus Sewell plays John Murdoch, an amnesiac man who finds himself suspected of murder. Murdoch attempts to discover his true identity and clear his name while on the run from the police and a mysterious group known only as the Strangers, who blah 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 blah. Who cares? All right, who cares? All right, so Shell Beach was kind of an alt-right reference, apparently. It could be a shout out to those who see Shell Beach as an idealized icon of the alt-right, and one that, if doesn't exist, should be fought for. Your mileage may vary. Huh, interesting. Rich Johnson, chief writer, founder of Bleeding Cool, father of 2. Comic book clairvoyant, not even close. Political cartoonist. Yeah, you are. That's good. I see people are commenting. Da, da. Yeah. Yeah, he just liked it. Yeah, and here's my response. Congrats to Malin and EVS on being just as insufferable as Kate Leth and her ilk. You did it. And I said, what the I'm extremely sufferable and entertaining. And I got 7 likes, 7 upvotes. So most people believe that I am extremely entertaining and, you know, somebody that you might want to spend a nice evening with. Glass of sherry, conversation. I would watch a movie. I'd watch an old Cary Grant movie with you. Talk you through it. We could talk comics if you wanted to. I'd call that sufferable. Insufferable means you couldn't bear my presence. I promise you, you could, and you would enjoy spending time with me. I don't know about Kate Leth, except her name is difficult for me to say. And John Malin, I spoke to him yesterday, and yeah, it's the first time I ever spoke to him. Whatever. I didn't find him insufferable. I just, found him extremely passionate. Okay. So that's Bleeding Cool's initial take on the situation. If this situation blows up, I'm sure there will be more articles or addendums to this particular article to come, so we'll keep an eye on that. What do you think? Leave me comments below. Hit like if you enjoyed listening to me read this read this article, so you didn't have to click on it. I think that was one of the initial concerns. People just don't want to click on Bleeding Cool and give them the clicks. Yeah, let me know what you thought. All right, guys, take good care. Talk to you later.